Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon, and it has become apparent in the last week or two that Disney's failure with their Star Wars sequel trilogy is complete. Now, actors who were involved in the Disney Star Wars trilogy are speaking out about problems they have had and beefs they have with the mouse's handling of Star Wars. I mean, let's look at this catastrophic failure that is the Disney Star Wars sequel trilogy. George Lucas hands them his treatment on a silver platter, and what do? They throw it out. They start over. George Lucas comes out publicly and calls Disney a bunch of white slavers during an interview. Only a couple of years after the deal goes down, not a good look. It hits all the headlines. George Lucas is very, very angry. Then we have all the behind-the-scenes drama attached to Kathleen Kennedy and the supposed civil war going on within Lucasfilm. You've got Kathleen Kennedy's group and her story group against Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni and a small group of Lucas loyalists. We did a video yesterday talking about the rumors that Kathleen Kennedy is burning bridges all over the place with longtime collaborators, including Steven Spielberg, who's throwing in with George Lucas at this point and seems to be stalling for time on Indiana Jones 5. It seems like he's pulled out of the project completely. I would not be surprised to see Steven Spielberg get involved in Indiana Jones 5 after Kathleen Kennedy's out of Lucasfilm. So she's effectively helped run this franchise into the ground. Then we have the sales, the merchandise sales. The toy sales aren't there. Star Wars as a brand is effectively dead. The sequel trilogy toys were sitting on the shelves, rotting on the shelves. Hasbro had to call out Disney and say, hey, we can't sell your shit. They barely made any toys for The Rise of Skywalker after they got stuck with a glut of Rose Tico action figures and Snoke action figures from The Last Jedi because it was such an abysmal movie. And you're thinking, okay, well, you know, sales aside, we had a victory for diversity and inclusion. We had a female lead and a black guy co-lead, and everybody will remember Star Wars, the Star Wars sequel trilogy for introducing diversity and inclusion to the Star Wars universe. And no, that's not going to happen. Because John Boyega is speaking out about his shitty treatment in Star Wars, not necessarily with Disney on a day-to-day basis, as I understand it, but his severe disappointment in how they handled the character of Finn. In fact, I found this tweet very funny because Disney loves to deflect. John Boyega has this big article in GQ talking about how angry he is at how Finn was treated in Star Wars, and deflect. Don't look at Finn. The sequel trilogy's dead to us anyway. Look at The Mandalorian and go buy some Baby Yoda shit. That's basically what's going on here. And Disney doesn't have its shit together with Star Wars at all. It does feel like we've got rival Star Wars factions. I think a lot of the rumors that are going around, some of them I think were by Doomcock, claiming that he's got an insider over at Lucasfilm, that there is some controversy. And it wouldn't surprise me that Kathleen Kennedy's crew is going up against Jon Favreau's crew. And the only thing that Kathleen Kennedy supposedly didn't have a lot of involvement with was The Mandalorian. Now, people are arguing about what her involvement in The Mandalorian was. As I understand it, it seems like it was more of a Favreau and Filoni thing than it was a Kathleen Kennedy thing. And I don't think Disney expected it to be that big of a hit. And now Baby Yoda is basically bankrolling the entire Star Wars franchise at this point. Galaxy's Edge was a dud. The theme park was a dud. It wasn't based on recognizable Star Wars. And now we've got the actors in the sequel trilogy coming out saying that they were not happy with the sequel trilogy, and with The Last Jedi in particular, because that is when things changed for Finn. Now, here's the thing. We've been saying on this channel, and I know a lot of other YouTubers have said the same thing, that Finn really got shafted in the sequel trilogy, more so than any other character, well, other than Luke Skywalker, obviously, but they set Finn up to be the lead in this franchise. In fact, the very first trailer that dropped, we saw Finn first. His head pops up first, and we always see Finn with a lightsaber, And Finn was supposed to be, I thought, the new Luke Skywalker character. And it turned out that they made Rey the new Luke Skywalker character, and Finn turned into a dumbass sidekick. Boyega's character was treated very badly, and I'm sure he was even like, I signed on for Star Wars thinking I was going to be this kick-ass character, and he got turned into a freaking joke, especially with The Last Jedi. That was the turning point where all of Finn's character development in the first movie, they walked it back and made him a dumbass sidekick. They really did. So I think he's got a lot of legitimate complaints, and beyond the fact that Finn was treated badly in the movies, even the marketing was terrible. They minimized Finn on the poster for China. They did, for Chinese audiences. Look at this. This controversy was immediately after The Force Awakens was released. Here's the English version of the poster. We've got Finn is pretty prominent here, as he should be, because he's the first character we're really introduced with. It is his story until Rey shows up, and then it's kind of both of their stories, and you're assuming that that's the way the rest of the trilogy is going to go, and then Rian Johnson subverts our expectations and turns Finn into a freaking joke in the second movie. He should have been training with Luke Skywalker. Proper Luke Skywalker, not Jake Skywalker. But then we look at the Chinese poster and they shrunk Finn down. Why did they do this? Well, the word on the street is that the Chinese audiences don't care that much for African American leads, African American characters. So Hollywood tends to downplay black folks. Actually, I can't say African American because Boyega's British, but you know what I'm saying. That is the only possible explanation that a lot of people came up with, was let's make Finn tiny so they don't notice the black guy on the poster, so they come see the movie. And now he's letting it all out. We're going to talk about John Boyega. We're going to talk about Daisy Ridley. She can't get any work after Star Wars. Now, this does seem to be a curse of a lot of Star Wars actors, is they're so well known for their roles in Star Wars that they don't seem to do much afterwards. This happened with Hayden Christensen, happened with Mark Hamill, who had a lull for a while until he kind of found his footing as a voice actor. But yeah, it is kind of a running joke that a lot of Star Wars actors don't have much of a career after Star Wars. Now, I do think John Boyega absolutely is, and I think Daisy Ridley's okay. I do, but once you're associated with something like Star Wars, and especially if people are kind of blaming you or blaming your character correctly or incorrectly with Tank in the franchise, then it's going to be hard to get work. People are going to be like, no, they don't like this new Star Wars. They don't like the Star Wars sequel trilogy. Let's not hire these guys, because people are going to associate it with Star Wars. They've got negative feelings about the Star Wars sequel trilogy. So now the failure is complete. You haven't even done right by your actors. But let's dive into what John Boyega has said, and he's been very vocal lately. He's letting it all fly out. I think he had an NDA or something, a non-disparagement clause, and as soon as that was up, immediately he was on the internet throwing shade at Reylos, throwing shade at other Star Wars fans, and now he's attacking Disney. He said that his Star Wars character was pushed to the side by Disney, and it's not good. He's absolutely right. He is absolutely right. Finn was done dirty. We've said it multiple times. We've been saying it since pretty much the beginning of us talking about Star Wars, and we're not the only channel. For all the shade that a lot of new Star Wars defenders, Disney Star Wars defenders, try to throw at YouTubers, something that's been pretty consistent is that Finn in his story arc didn't make a lot of sense. They set him up as being a stormtrooper, turning to the good side and becoming heroic by the end of the movie, and then he gets his ass knocked into a coma and he wakes up and he's a coward again. There was no character development, and then he becomes just a jokey sidekick. There's no training to be a Jedi, nothing. But they killed Luke off, so why would you expect that? But they didn't know what to do with him, and I do blame Rian Johnson. You want to talk about China and pandering to China. It's so weird. The Washington Post, which is a pretty far left-leaning publication, is using Rian Johnson's Looper as the example for turning American movies into propaganda for China. Rian Johnson is the poster boy for pandering to China, and Finn was really done dirty in The Last Jedi. So in this GQ article, which I'll pull up that, and I'm gonna bring up some of the stuff that Ichibaka on Disney Star Wars is dumb pointed out too. That he said he criticized Disney, the studio behind the franchise, for his character of Finn's story arc in the series. So he's only 28. I thought he was older than that. He said, you get yourself involved in projects and you're not necessarily going to like everything, but what I would say to Disney is do not bring out a black character, market them to be much more important in the franchise than they are, and then have them pushed to the side. It's not good. I'll say it straight up. He is 100% correct. Finn was set up to be the lead, or at least the co-lead, in the sequel trilogy, and he was sidelined in The Last Jedi in particular, and he became just a goofy-ass sidekick. People reached out to Disney for comment. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Boyega made his final appearance as Finn in The Rise of Skywalker, in which Daisy Ridley's Rey and Adam Driver's Kylo Ren get hero send-offs as Rey saves the galaxy and Kylo eschews his villainous alter ego to become Ben Solo again. The actor mentioned Kelly Marie Tran, who played Rose, the first major Asian character in the franchise introduced in 2017's Last Jedi. Guys, you guys knew what to do with Daisy Ridley, you knew what to do with Adam Driver, he said, the franchise. You knew what to do with these other people, but when it came to Kelly Marie Tran, when it came to John Boyega, fuck all. So what do you want me to say? What they want you to say is, I enjoy being a part of it. It was a great experience. Nah. I'll take that. Nah. I'll take that when it's a great experience. That they gave all the nuance to Adam Driver, all the nuance to Daisy Ridley. Let's be honest. Daisy knows this. Adam knows this. Everybody knows this. I'm not exposing anything. No, YouTubers have been saying it for a while. Even Rose Tico. Look, I don't think the backlash against Rose Tico was because of Kelly Marie Tran. I think a lot of people like Kelly Marie Tran, but she was given a shitty character and a shitty character arc. Maybe it's not the character herself, but I mean, what they did with her and what they could have done with her, and they could have actually made her a character that endeared herself to the fans. And it's not even, I don't think it's a race thing necessarily, because look at Lando Calrissian. Lando Calrissian is a beloved Star Wars character, right? But they knew what to do with Lando Calrissian. They didn't turn him into a joke. Lando was a cool cat. He was a cool character. He was written to be a cool character. They didn't destroy him in Return of the Jedi. They made him a hero. They gave him a hero. Well, it wasn't a send-off, but they gave him a hero mission, a legit hero mission, in Return of the Jedi, and they handled Lando, fairly well. But again, Lando was a side character. They never marketed Star Wars with Lando in the lead. The difference here with Finn is he was given a shitty story arc. It could have been amazing. Having a stormtrooper turn to the light side, become a Jedi, that could have been amazing. Having Luke Skywalker reluctant to train him, not because Luke Skywalker is a complete pussy now, but because he's like, I don't know if I want to train a stormtrooper who's been brainwashed since birth, give them, the ability to be a much more powerful villain because of that, and he'd have to wrestle with all those issues. That could have been an amazing arc. But instead, it's he's a janitor, he's a coward, he kind of gets a spine in the end, and then he gets knocked on his ass, and he's a coward again, and then he goes off on a fetch quest with Rose Tico, and then they don't know what to do with either one of them, so by the time the third movie rolls around, they just sideline them. It's not a good look, and it speaks to the complete failure of the Disney Star Wars trilogy, that there was no plan. That Kathleen Kennedy did not have a plan for this, that the people they were working movie to movie, and they were just making it up as they go. And I think the reason Rian Johnson didn't know what to do with these characters is Finn was not his character. Finn was J.J. Abrams' character, and by the time J.J. Abrams got Finn back, Rian Johnson had already gone in a totally different direction, and then J.J. Abrams just canceled Rose Tico because Rose Tico wasn't his OC. You know, so it's just a clusterfuck. It's a failure. This whole trilogy, the Disney Star Wars trilogy, on every level is a fucking failure. And they tried to explain away Tran's lack of screen time by saying that it's because of Carrie Fisher no longer being with us and they didn't know what to do with her. Basically, they didn't know what to do with her. And there was a lot of fan backlash to that character arc, and her toys didn't sell well, and she could have been a great character. You know, it's not Kelly Marie Tran's fault that Disney dropped the ball. It's not John Boyega's fault that Disney dropped the ball with this trilogy. This is what we've been saying, and we've gotten so much shit. Other channels have gotten more shit than we've gotten for talking about just how terrible the Disney Star Wars trilogy is, and now you don't even have the actors backing you up, Disney. That's how bad it is. Now, go out to Disney Star Wars is dumb, and Ichibaka actually has a pretty good article on this, talking about how, you know, John Boyega had to mask his disappointment. And yeah, I don't blame him. I mean, again, Finn was marketed as the lead in the marketing materials, and Disney just decided they didn't know what to do with the character, so they turned him into a sidekick. They made him a sidekick. And, you know, it's sad because he's capable of so much more. Daisy Ridley now, she can't get work. She's speaking out now. She's not happy with Disney. You know, this is coming from EW.com. One would presume that Daisy Ridley, the face of a multi-billion-dollar global blockbuster franchise, would be swimming in job offers following the culmination of the latest Star Wars trilogy with The Rise of Skywalker. The actress says that was not the case. In a recent interview with Entertainment Weekly about her voice role in the time loop video game 12 Minutes, Ridley looks back on her mindset after wrapping the cinematic saga of Rey and how there was a slight panic mode when nothing was coming through, job-wise, in those first couple of months after The Rise of Skywalker hit theaters. Now, the other actors could rely on toy sales, you know, royalty checks from toy sales and stuff, as I understand it. You know, but look, the sequel trilogy toys are not selling. I don't think these guys are getting a whole lot of royalties. We know for sure Kelly Marie Tran is not getting a whole lot of royalties. But basically, she's like, my God, you know, it was a huge chapter in my life, and there's no work. Obviously, it's really nice to be working now on video game voiceovers, but not having much at the time. I feel like I processed the last 5 years. To be forced to slow down, it was good mentally for me because Star Wars was a big thing in my life. Weirdly, at the beginning of the year, nothing was coming through. I was like, oh, no one wants to employ me. Ridley later remarks how there were actually loads of things auditioned for at the beginning of the year and didn't get any of them because you're Rey Skywalker. And, you know, studios know, other studios know where the Star Wars sequel trilogy falls, you know, and they're going to blame Daisy Ridley for it too. They're going to be like, we're not hiring Rey Skywalker. Are you kidding? That's like poison because people hated this trilogy. By the end of February, early March, things started picking up. It was around the time she got called that 12 minutes. So she's doing video game voiceovers now. I mean, she was doing, what was it? Murder on the Orient Express. I think she was in that. And look, I think Daisy Ridley is a fine actress. I think John Boyega is an awesome actor. They deserve better than this, but you know, it's the stink of Disney Star Wars is not something that is easily scrubbed off. And I think there are going to be repercussions for years, you know, because of the poor choices made with this trilogy, that the merch isn't going to sell. Disney's going to have to go into the damage control mode. Galaxy's Edge would have packed them in if it was actually based on the original trilogy, like Harry Potter, how they based it on the actual movies that people liked. But the stink of Disney Star Wars is going to take a long time to wash away. I wish everybody involved with it the best of luck, except for those of you who deliberately fucked it all up. You guys can go, you know, live in a cardboard box. But for those of you who actually gave your best, I wish you the best of luck. And we're going to wrap this one up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk later.